Join me as I try to find the best way to teach my dog commands without any stress. Let's see if we can make training fun for both of us. Teaching your dog commands can be an incredibly rewarding experience for both of you, but it often comes with a lot of stress. I'm sure many of you have been there, trying to get your dog to listen, but it just seems like they're not getting it. One of the biggest challenges dog owners face when teaching commands is frustration. It's an incredibly common yet corrosive element in training. We've all been there. You're on the 10th repetition of sit, and your dog is more interested in a dust bunny under the couch. That feeling starts to bubble up, a mix of impatience and disappointment. You might tense your shoulders, sigh heavily, or change the tone of your voice without even realizing it. Your dog, an expert in reading body language, picks up on this instantly. Their focus shifts from trying to understand the task to trying to understand your mood. This creates anxiety, which shuts down their ability to learn. What was a fun game moments ago now feels tense and unpredictable. That frustration can quickly poison the training session, turning it into a negative experience for both of you and damaging the trust you've built. The best thing you can do when you feel that frustration is to stop. End the session with an easy win, a command your dog knows well, give them a reward, and take a break. Shorter, successful sessions are far more productive than one long, frustrating one. Another major pitfall is a fundamental lack of understanding, which often gets mislabeled as stubbornness or disobedience. You might be using what you think is the right command, but if your dog doesn't understand what you want, it's just not going to work. This can happen for many reasons. Perhaps your verbal cue or hand signal is inconsistent. Or maybe you haven't fully faded a food lure, so the dog is just following the treat, not responding to the cue itself. A common issue is failing to generalize a command. Your dog might perform a perfect down in your quiet living room, but at the park, the command seems to evaporate. This isn't defiance, it's a context issue. The dog has learned down means lie down on this specific rug when nothing else is happening. We have to systematically teach them that the command applies everywhere by gradually introducing the 3 Ds: duration, distance, and distractions. This process of proofing is essential for real-world reliability. Finally, let's talk about the unintentional use of negative reinforcement or punishment. In a moment of frustration, you might snatch a treat away, push your dog into position, or use a harsh tone. While it may seem minor, this can be incredibly damaging. It creates a negative association with the command itself, a phenomenon trainers call a poisoned cue. The dog hears the word sit, and instead of thinking opportunity for a reward, they think, this is that confusing, stressful thing where my human gets upset. They may start offering other behaviors, avoiding the task, or shutting down completely. True progress comes from a foundation of clear communication and positive reinforcement. If your dog is failing, it's our job as the teacher to ask why. Is the task too hard? Is the environment too distracting? Am I being unclear? By breaking down the behavior into smaller steps and heavily rewarding success, a concept known as errorless learning, we build a dog who is confident, engaged, and eager to work with us, not for us. So what if I told you there's a better way? A way to teach your dog commands without all the stress. It starts with positive reinforcement. That means rewarding your dog for getting it right, rather than punishing them for getting it wrong. For example, if you're teaching your dog to sit, you can use treats and praise to encourage them into the right position. Consistency is also key. Try to use the same commands and hand signals every time you give a command, so your dog knows exactly what you want. And patience. It's so important to remember that your dog is learning, and it's going to take time. Let's say you're trying to teach your dog to stay. You start by having them sit, then take a few steps back while saying stay. At first, they might not get it, but with consistent practice and positive reinforcement, they'll start to understand. Another example is using a clicker to mark the exact moment your dog does what you want, then rewarding them. It's amazing how quickly they can pick up commands when they're having fun. One of my favorite success stories is from a friend who was having trouble with her dog's recall. She was getting so frustrated because her dog just wouldn't come back to her when called. It was more than just frustrating. It was genuinely scary. She'd be at the park, her voice getting lost in the wind, while her dog was completely absorbed by a new smell or another dog, totally ignoring her calls. She felt helpless and worried, imagining all the worst-case scenarios. Her initial reaction was to get louder, more insistent, which only made her dog more hesitant to return. She realized she was accidentally teaching him that coming back meant the fun ended. Or worse, that he was in trouble.
But then, she completely changed her approach. She decided to make herself the most exciting thing in the park. She started using positive reinforcement techniques, but with a real strategy. First, she armed herself with super high-value rewards, not just dry biscuits, but tiny pieces of chicken, cheese, and his absolute favorite squeaky tug toy. She went back to basics, practicing in a low-distraction environment like her backyard, using a long line to prevent him from failing. She'd call him in an excited, happy tone, and the moment he turned towards her, she'd praise him. As soon as he came all the way back, she'd throw a party for him. Jackpot of treats, a wild game of tug, tons of praise. She made sure that coming back to her was the best decision he could possibly make. Once he was reliable in the yard, she gradually started adding what we call the 3 Ds: distance, duration, and distractions. She'd slowly increase the distance she called him from. She'd practice in slightly more distracting environments, always keeping him on the long line for safety and to ensure he couldn't self-reward by ignoring her. The key was, she set him up for success every single time. If he hesitated, she knew the distraction was too high, and she'd take a step back, making it easier for him. It wasn't a linear process. It was a dance of constantly adjusting the criteria based on his response. It wasn't long before he was coming back to her every time she called, a rocket of fur and joy. The transformation was incredible. That frantic, worried feeling was replaced by a deep sense of connection and trust. Her recall cue became a promise of good things, not a command to be obeyed. Now, their off-leash time is relaxed and confident, a true partnership built on positive experiences.
The breakthrough moment for her came when she realized that her dog wasn't being disobedient. He just didn't understand what she wanted. Once she changed her approach to training, everything clicked into place. Her dog started coming back to her every time, and their whole relationship changed. It was like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. If you take away one thing from this video, it's that this journey of training is a partnership. It's not just about your dog learning commands. It's about you learning to be a clear, consistent, and compassionate leader. When you approach training with patience and positive reinforcement, you're not just teaching a sit or a down. You're building a shared language. You're creating a foundation of trust that makes every interaction, from a simple walk to advanced off-leash work, a more enjoyable and connected experience for both of you. We've covered a tremendous amount of ground together, starting with those crucial foundation commands. Remember the power of a clear marker and the freedom of a distinct release cue? By teaching your dog that a command means, "Hold this position until I release you," you eliminate confusion and the need for a nagging stay command. This single shift in communication builds a dog that understands its job and waits for your direction with confidence. From there, we layered on the 3 Ds: duration, distance, and distraction. This is where the real-world reliability is forged. We saw how to methodically increase the challenge, proofing behaviors in new environments, from your quiet living room to a busy park. We talked about troubleshooting, what to do when your dog breaks position or seems slow to respond. The key is to remember that it's not disobedience, it's information. It tells you to take a step back, lower the criteria, and set your dog up for success. This commitment to errorless learning is what keeps the training positive and prevents frustration from creeping in. This journey doesn't end here. The skills you've learned, From loose leash walking and impulse control at doorways to advanced directional cues and emergency stops are the building blocks for a lifetime of adventure with your canine companion. You now have the tools to build a truly remarkable relationship, and we want to be a part of that ongoing journey with you. We'd love to hear about your own training experiences in the comments below. What was your biggest aha moment from this video? Are you struggling with adding distractions, or have you had a major breakthrough with the release cue? Sharing your progress, your successes, and even your challenges helps the entire community learn and grow together. If you found this guide helpful, please take a moment to this video and it with fellow dog lovers who might benefit. And to make sure you don't miss out on our next deep dive into canine training, be sure to the channel and hit that notification bell, as we continue to explore everything from puppy basics to the most advanced working dog skills. Thank you for watching, and happy training.